Every day, we engage with people, at work, in friendships, even in family, trusting their words to be true. But what happens when that trust is misplaced? The Stoic philosophers didn't live in a bubble of blind belief. They trained their minds to perceive reality, not fantasy, to detect falsehoods not through paranoia, but through calm observation. Today, we step into that mindset. These are not tactics for confrontation or manipulation. These are tools of discernment. Let's explore 7 Stoic clues someone isn't telling the truth, and how to spot them with clarity, not emotion. 1. Words and actions are out of sync. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. The first clue is one that Stoics cherish deeply: congruence. When someone says one thing but does another, they're not in harmony with themselves. Maybe a coworker constantly praises your efforts, but behind the scenes, they're sabotaging your work. Or someone says, "I've moved on," but their eyes still linger when your name is mentioned. Stoicism isn't about judging the person. It's about observing the disconnect. Words can be polished. Actions often slip through unfiltered. If you want to detect dishonesty the Stoic way, watch behavior over time. 2. Too many details, too much justification. When someone is telling the truth, they usually just say it. But when someone lies, they decorate. They overcompensate. They want their lie to sound more believable than the truth. The Stoics prized simplicity. They believed that clarity is a sign of wisdom. If someone's story has excessive detail, minute things that don't even matter, it may be because they're trying to cover tracks they never walked. Consider this. You ask someone, "Were you at the meeting yesterday?" Instead of a simple, "Yes, I was," they say, "Yeah, I was actually there around 2:57 because I had just come from lunch with Mike, and then I got a text from Sarah and I sat next to her near the back row next to the window." Sounds impressive, but is it true? The Stoic rule: truth stands tall on its own. Lies crouch beneath complexity. 3. Unnatural eye behavior. Much has been said about eye contact, some true, some myth. But here's what Stoic observation teaches us. People often flee the gaze of truth when they fear being seen. A liar may avoid eye contact altogether, or in contrast, may overdo it, trying to appear confident. Either extreme can be telling. The Stoic does not assume guilt because someone looks away. Instead, they look for patterns. Do their eyes dart when questions get personal? Do they hold eye contact only when rehearsed? Stoicism says, let your mind be still, then your perception sharpens. Don't hunt for lies. Let them expose themselves through observation. 4. Emotions and words don't match. No man is hurt but by himself. Diogenes Laertius, quoting Stoics, emotional congruence is hard to fake. A person says they're excited, but their voice is flat. Or they claim anger, but their body is relaxed. That mismatch reveals internal conflict, often because the words were crafted, but the emotion wasn't. The Stoic teaches, truth resonates. It feels aligned. When someone's speech doesn't carry the emotional weight it should, ask yourself, if I take away the words, does the emotion still make sense? Truth lives in subtlety, not performance. 5. Defensiveness or sudden irritation. Picture this. You calmly ask someone a question, and they explode. They accuse you of doubting them, they raise their voice, maybe even play the victim. Why? Because truth is comfortable with questions. Lies are not. Stoicism teaches us that the wise person doesn't react impulsively. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." A liar feels trapped, and their sudden aggression is often the mind's defense against exposure. Remember this. Calm questioning threatens only those who have something to hide. Observe, not react. That is the Stoic way. 6. Shifting stories and inconsistencies over time. Lies are like broken clocks. They may seem accurate for a moment, but fall apart over time. A dishonest person has to remember their version of events. But memory is fallible, and fake stories tend to evolve. The Stoics remind us to remain anchored in reality, not in emotional assumptions. If someone's story about a night out changes from "I was at dinner" to "I think I went to a movie with a friend," there's a crack forming. One crack may be nothing, two might be coincidence. But if the story keeps changing, the truth is probably missing. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." The liar speaks from invention. The Stoic listens with precision. 7. A quiet feeling something is off. The Stoics didn't ignore gut instinct, they simply didn't let it control them. Sometimes, the body knows before the mind does. You might feel a strange tension after a conversation, or a subtle sense of unease. Stoicism teaches us to notice that feeling without acting on it impulsively. Don't accuse. Don't confront. Just take note. Reflect. Your intuition is the whisper. Logic is the confirmation. When you combine both, observation with reflection, you become nearly impossible to deceive. That's the power of Stoic awareness. Stoicism is not about exposing others. One final truth. Stoicism is not about becoming a lie detector. It's about becoming someone who cannot be easily deceived, because you've trained your mind to be calm, present, and perceptive. The Stoic doesn't hunt lies. The Stoic simply sees clearly. When someone lies, their biggest fear is not being caught. It's being seen by someone who sees through appearances. Be that person. Be the stillness in the storm. Don't chase truth with aggression. Let it emerge through still observation. That is Stoic mastery. Thank you for walking this path of clarity with me. The world is filled with half-truths and shallow masks. But you, by living the Stoic way, can choose stillness over reaction, discernment over emotion, truth over illusion. If this resonated with you, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and psychological insight. Comment below, which of these 7 clues have you personally experienced? Until next time, live with courage, observe with clarity, think with purpose, and